Let me tell you a story that starts with a single penny. Not just any penny, but one that could turn an ordinary day into the day your life changes forever. Imagine reaching into an old jar, your father's coin collection, or that forgotten box in the attic, and finding a simple copper coin from 1980. You think nothing of it, until you learn that this tiny disc of metal could be worth up to $3 million right now. $3 million, for something you might have already touched, owned, or even spent without thinking. Before we dive in, let me ask you, when was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Not just glanced at them, but really looked? Most people don't. That's how life-changing treasures go unnoticed, sitting in drawers, pockets, and dusty coffee cans. While you're busy working for dollars, a single cent might already be holding your ticket to freedom. The 1980 Lincoln cent with a rare mint mark error is one of those extraordinary finds. To most, it's a coin like any other. But to those who know, it's a symbol of rarity, history, and unimaginable value. The secret lies in tiny details, microscopic flaws, unusual strikes, and mint marks that shouldn't exist. These are the anomalies collectors and investors will pay fortunes for. If you think this sounds unbelievable, consider that in today's market, one of these coins is valued at $3 million. That's the price of a luxury home, or 3 beach houses, or a lifetime of never worrying about bills again. And here's where things get exciting. This isn't a story reserved for museums or elite collectors with private vaults. These coins are out there, still in circulation, still tucked away in everyday households. The fear? That people are spending them without knowing, letting a fortune slip through their fingers for a pack of gum. The urgency? Every year, more coins vanish into private collections, never to be seen on the open market again. The number of potential finds dwindles. While the price climbs higher, you might be thinking, how does a coin from just 1980, barely vintage in numismatic terms, reach such astronomical value? Here's the cliffhanger: the answer lies in a specific mint mark variety, struck in such limited error conditions that experts believe only a handful exist today. We'll get to the exact identifying details soon, but first, it's worth understanding why collectors chase them with such passion. The Lincoln cent isn't just currency, it's American history in miniature form, telling stories of the economy, politics, and culture of its time. But let's break the tension for a moment. Ever wonder if Abraham Lincoln himself could have imagined his profile being worth millions? Probably not, though I suspect he wouldn't mind being on the world's most expensive penny. It's these moments that remind us, wealth sometimes hides in the most ordinary places. Now, about that 1980 rarity. Most pennies from that year bear no unusual traits. But the prize coin has a mint mark that is either doubled, misplaced, or in a style not officially used by the U.S. Mint at the time. The error is so specific that you could look at hundreds of coins and never see it, unless you know exactly what to look for. And once you know, you'll never see pennies the same way again. Imagine the electricity of that moment. You're holding it, turning it over in your hand, realizing the weight of what you found. You think of the vacations you could take, the debts you could erase, the security you could finally give your family. That rush is real, and it's what drives treasure hunters, collectors, and everyday Americans to search. Here's where it gets even more intense: these coins don't just pop up in high-end auctions. They've been found in change from the grocery store, in donations to church, and even in kids' piggy banks. Every coin you touch could be that one. The question is, will you recognize it before it's too late? And here's the twist: you don't need expensive equipment to start checking. All it takes is a simple magnifying glass, good lighting, and the willingness to look closely. The thrill of the hunt comes from the fact that every time you examine a penny, you could be seconds away from discovering life-changing wealth. But remember, as word spreads, the competition to find these coins will skyrocket. Collectors are already paying record-breaking prices. That $3 million figure? It's not a ceiling. With scarcity increasing and demand climbing, the next sale could set an even higher benchmark. Waiting could cost you millions. So here's your challenge. Tonight, dig out every jar, drawer, and box of coins you have. Check them one by one. Learn the telltale signs. Keep your eyes sharp, because once you find that 1980 Lincoln cent with the rare mint mark, your life will never be the same. And when you do, you won't just have a penny, you'll have the most valuable second in your life, the moment everything changes, because the truth is, the real treasure isn't just the coin, it's the opportunity. And right now, it's sitting in your hands, waiting for you to notice. The clock is ticking. Will you act before someone else does? What if I told you that a small copper coin, hiding in plain sight for over 40 years, could be your golden ticket to a life you've only dreamed about? And what if that coin was sitting quietly in your pocket change, a dusty jar in your attic, or an old coffee can in your garage, waiting to change everything? Imagine discovering a penny so rare that collectors will pay not hundreds, not thousands, but up to $2.7 million for it right now. This isn't fantasy. This isn't hype. This is about a real 1982 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin, and tonight, you're going to learn why this coin can be worth more than your house, your car, maybe even your entire retirement plan. But here's the kicker, most people who have one don't even know it. That's right, they spend it without a second thought, and with it, they unknowingly throw away a fortune. I don't want that to be you. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we're going to travel back to the early 80s, uncover a minting change that created a once-in-a-lifetime rarity, and most importantly, I'll show you how to tell if you're holding this million-dollar piece of American history. Let's rewind to 1982. Gas was cheap, hair was big, and the US Mint made a decision that would accidentally mint millionaires. That year, they switched from solid copper pennies to copper-plated zinc. But they didn't just flip the switch overnight, they produced both types in the same year, across multiple mints, in different sizes and weights. Somewhere in that chaos, an extremely small number of 1982 D pennies were struck in the wrong composition, and the world has been hunting them ever since. Think of it like Willy Wonka's golden ticket, except you don't have to drink from a chocolate river to find one. Although, hey, if you do, please film it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I'll just grab a penny from 1982 with a D mint mark and retire tomorrow. If only it were that easy. The million-dollar version is the elusive 1982 D small date struck in copper, and here's where it gets interesting. Out of the billions of pennies made that year, only a handful have been verified to match this exact combination. That's why serious collectors will pay astronomical sums, with the most recent private sale hitting $2.7 million. Let that sink in. A penny, worth more than a mansion, and here's where the fear comes in. Right now, somewhere in America, someone is going to dump a jar of old change into a counting machine at the grocery store, and one of these coins will vanish back into circulation. Gone. Erased. Another fortune lost forever. Maybe it's already happened to you. Maybe you've already spent one. I'm telling you this because I want you to check every single coin before it leaves your hands. You're probably wondering, how do I know if I've got it? This is where most people tune out, but don't, because here's the truth, the difference between the small date and the large date is subtle. The 2 in the date has a slightly different curve. The copper version weighs 3.11 grams, while the zinc version is just 2.5 grams. Yes, that means you might need a small digital scale, but trust me, for a couple of bucks, it's the smartest investment you'll ever make. Imagine putting a penny on that scale and realizing it's heavier, and realizing you're holding millions in your fingertips. Now, before you rush off to your coin jar, let me tell you something most videos won't: condition matters. The cleaner, sharper, and more preserved your coin, the higher the payout. Even a rare one with heavy scratches might sell for less. This is why collectors obsess over grading, and why, if you find one, your next call should be to a reputable coin grading service. The right grading could be the difference between a life-changing windfall and just an impressive story to tell at a barbecue. But here's a little pattern interrupt for you. While you're imagining yourself with a check for millions, picture this: you hand your coin to a shady buyer at a flea market, and they give you $20 and a smile. Don't laugh. It's happened. Which is why you'll need to know exactly how to sell it safely, and we're going to get to that. In fact, that's where this gets urgent. The coin market isn't static. Collectors' tastes shift, economic pressures change, and record prices don't last forever. The highest sale ever recorded for this coin happened because two collectors got into a bidding war. If you wait too long, the excitement could cool, and with it, your million-dollar opportunity. Timing is everything. So here's your action plan: dig out your old jars, your coffee cans, your forgotten desk drawers. Ask your parents. Ask your grandparents. The more sources you check, the higher your odds. Get a scale, learn the small date markers, and weigh every 1982 penny you find. If one comes up copper weight, protect it like you would protect a bar of gold, and when you find it, not if, but when, remember that you're holding more than just money. You're holding a piece of history, a fluke of the minting process that slipped through the cracks and into the hands of a lucky few. That's the moment when the life you've been picturing, the travel, the dream home, the early retirement, becomes real. Here's the cliffhanger: in my next video, I'm going to show you the secret network of buyers who pay top dollar for coins like this, and how to negotiate so you don't leave a single cent, or million, on the table. Because the only thing rarer than the coin, is knowing exactly how to cash it in for everything it's worth. Stay tuned. Your fortune might already be in your pocket. Have you ever reached into your pocket, pulled out a penny, and thought, what if this tiny piece of copper could buy me a mansion, a sports car, or even my early retirement? Most people wouldn't give a second glance to a 1984 Lincoln cent. But if yours has a small, almost invisible detail, a D mint mark from Denver, it could be worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. And as of today, one of these exact coins has just been valued at an astonishing $2.4 million. That's not a typo. $2.4 million. For a penny. Now, before you dismiss this as another internet myth, let's step into a world where everyday change becomes a golden ticket. Imagine waking up tomorrow, checking that old jar of coins in your kitchen, and realizing you're holding what could change your financial destiny forever. Sounds thrilling, right? But here's the fear: these coins are vanishing fast. Every year, collectors snatch them up, stash them in vaults, and lock them away from public view. If you don't check now, you may never get the chance again. The story behind this coin begins in 1984, at the Denver Mint, where millions of pennies rolled off the production line. Most were ordinary, but a small number carried a subtle minting anomaly so rare that it turned them from pocket change into treasure. The difference is invisible to the casual eye, which is exactly why so many people have spent their lives unknowingly carrying small fortunes in their wallets. And here's the kicker: if you have one, it won't just make you richer, it will make you part of one of the most elite circles in coin collecting history. But why is this coin worth millions now? Because scarcity breeds desire. There are thousands of coin hunters in the US who would pay any price for this piece of numismatic history. Auctions have become battlegrounds, with bidders climbing into the millions just for the prestige of ownership. Picture it: the sharp crack of the auctioneer's gavel, the room holding its breath, and the winning bidder walking away with a penny worth more than a Ferrari. It's not just money, it's legacy. Here's the part that might make your heart race: you could own one without knowing it. And if you sell at the right time, you could step into a lifestyle most people only dream about. Think about wiping out debt in a single afternoon. Upgrading your home. Traveling the world first class. Maybe even quitting that job you've secretly been planning to leave for years. Yes, it's that powerful. But hesitation is the enemy here. The longer you wait to check, the smaller your chances become. You might be wondering how to tell if you have this $1 million cent. And I'm going to reveal that soon, but not yet. Because first, you need to understand why so many people miss it entirely. It's a tiny detail, one overlooked by 99.9% of the population. Even some coin dealers have slipped up and sold these for face value. That's how camouflaged it is in plain sight. But the collectors who know what to look for, they strike gold, or copper. In this case. Now, here's your pattern interrupt: imagine walking into a convenience store, buying a pack of gum, and accidentally handing over a $2.4 million penny. Sounds ridiculous? It's happened, and the cashier had no idea. Somewhere out there, someone has made change with one of these, and another person is unknowingly sitting on a fortune. It's like winning the lottery and throwing away the ticket. So how do you identify the real deal? It comes down to the 1984 D mint mark combined with a very specific doubling effect on the coin's lettering and features, something called a double die. Under magnification, certain letters in the word liberty or in God we trust may look like they've been stamped twice. This is the DNA marker of the $1 million coin. If yours has that, well, you may just be holding one of the most valuable modern pennies in existence, and here's where the urgency spikes: these coins aren't just valuable today, they're appreciating over time. The record-setting $2.4 million sale could be eclipsed in the next few years. If you find one now and hold it, your payoff could be even bigger. But the window is closing. Collectors are hoarding, markets are tightening, and the dream could slip away forever if you don't by the end of this video. You'll know exactly what to do: search your change, scour your coin jars, dig through that shoebox in your closet. Because somewhere in the United States, someone's about to pull a 1984 D Lincoln cent from obscurity and step into a new life. The only question is, will it be you, or will you watch someone else claim the fortune that could have been yours? Keep watching, because in just a moment, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to authenticate your coin, the safest way to sell it, and how to avoid the sharks that circle high-value sellers. You don't want to miss this. After all, your future wealth might be hiding in plain sight, just a penny away. Imagine holding in your hand a simple penny, a coin so ordinary you've walked past thousands of them without a second thought. Now imagine that penny being worth more than your house, your car, and your entire retirement fund combined. In fact, imagine it being worth $2.2 million. Today, we're talking about one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in American coin history, the elusive 1985 Lincoln 1 cent with no mint mark. And if you think you don't own one, you might be making the most expensive mistake of your life. Before you dismiss it as just another collector's story, let me tell you this: lives have changed overnight because of coins just like this. Someone, somewhere, could be living quietly, unaware that the little copper coin in their kitchen drawer could erase every debt they've ever had. And yes, it could be you. But here's the catch: these coins are so rare that only a handful are known to exist, and every year the chance of finding one shrinks. You either act now or let the opportunity pass forever. So why is this coin so extraordinary? In 1985, the US Mint made billions of Lincoln cents, almost all bearing a small mint mark to indicate where they were produced. But a rare, unintentional error led to a few being struck without that mark. Think of it like a typo in the financial world, except instead of costing money, it's worth millions. Imagine an assembly line where 999,999 products are identical, and one slips through with a flaw so unique that collectors will fight tooth and nail to own it. That's what happened here. And the current market value? A jaw-dropping $2.20 million. That I can almost hear you thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have one? That's where most people get it wrong. The difference is subtle, and many owners of this coin have unknowingly spent it on coffee or dropped it in a tip jar. If you've ever thought, it's just a penny, stop right there. That mindset could cost you the financial windfall of your life. And here's the fun part: after we go through the details, I'll tell you the story of a man who found one in a jar of pennies from his grandfather, and didn't realize what he had until years later. But let's not spoil that just yet. When you look at your 1985 penny, the first thing to check is the space just below the year on the front. Normally, you'd see a small letter, a P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. If it's missing, and the coin looks crisp and original, you may just have struck copper gold. Of course, the only way to confirm it is with professional grading, and that's where urgency comes in. Each day you delay checking your coins, another seller could cash in and drive market attention elsewhere. In collectibles, timing is everything. Now, here's a twist you didn't expect: some counterfeits exist, and they're surprisingly convincing. That's why you need to be cautious and not rush to sell without an expert evaluation. Imagine thinking you have the holy grail of pennies, only to find out it's a clever fake. That heartbreak is very real, and it's happened to more than a few hopefuls. But here's the hopeful flip side: genuine ones don't just hold value, they grow in value over time. And if you're strategic, finding one could be the ticket to early retirement, a vacation home, or funding your children's future without a penny of debt. Pun intended. So what's the real risk here? It's not that you'll never find one, it's that you might already own one and never check. Coins sit in piggy banks, coin jars, forgotten boxes in the attic. And every so often, one of those jars changes someone's life forever. Like the man I mentioned earlier, he was clearing out his grandfather's garage, found an old glass jar filled with pennies, and almost threw them into a Coinstar machine. But something about one coin caught his eye: no mint mark. He sent it for appraisal, and just months later, he was cashing a check that set him up for life. That's the kind of chance you can't afford to ignore, and before you think, well, that was just luck, remember, luck favors the prepared. Checking your change costs nothing. Selling the right coin could mean the difference between just getting by and living a life of absolute freedom. Imagine waking up tomorrow with the knowledge that your financial worries are over. It's not just a dream for someone else. It's a possibility for you, right now, in your own home. So here's your call to action: dig through those jars, boxes, and drawers tonight. Look for that missing mint mark under the year 1985. Because somewhere out there, a coin worth $2.2 million is sitting in the dark, waiting for its rightful owner to notice it. The question is, will it be you, or will it be the person who checks their coins before you do? And here's the real kicker: in my next video, I'm revealing the 3 most common hiding places where people have found million-dollar pennies, and the third one will make you question everything you think you know about your own home. Don't miss it. Because your future wealth could be hiding in plain sight. This isn't fantasy. This is the story of a tiny copper coin that most people overlook, yet in the right condition, it can be worth up to $2 million. And tonight, I'm going to show you exactly how a 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln 1 cent could turn an ordinary pocket change discovery into the biggest financial surprise of your life. But be warned, by the end of this video, you might never look at a penny the same way again. Back in 1986, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents, most stamped with the familiar P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But a microscopic minting error changed everything for a tiny handful of coins. A few slipped through without any mint mark at all. To most people, that missing letter is meaningless. To collectors and experts, it's the difference between a coin worth 1 cent, and a coin worth more than your retirement savings. But here's the twist: many of these coins are still out there, hidden in drawers, jars, and even your spare change. And every day they sit unrecognized, someone's future fortune is quietly waiting. Why does a missing letter make a coin worth millions? Because in the world of numismatics, that's the fancy name for coin collecting, rarity is king. Combine rarity with pristine condition, and you have the perfect storm for skyrocketing value. The 1986 no-mint mark cent is so scarce that only a handful have surfaced, and when they do, bidding wars erupt among top collectors. Just last year, one sold for an eye-watering $2 million. Yes, you heard that right. $2 million. For a penny. Let that sink in. And yes, somewhere in America, there might be another one sitting under your couch cushions right now. Now, before you start ripping apart your sofa, there's something you need to know, and this is where fear creeps in. If you find one of these coins and don't recognize it, you could accidentally spend it on a coffee or toss it in a coin-counting machine, forever losing your shot at life-changing money. And believe me, it's happened before. People have unknowingly given away small fortunes because they didn't take a closer look. So how do you tell if you're holding the real deal? The first clue is obvious: no mint mark under the date. But here's where it gets tricky: there are counterfeit coins and altered fakes out there. Scammers know the stakes. That's why you need to learn how to spot the real ones, and why professional grading is the safest route. Certified coins are the only ones that will fetch those massive auction prices. And this is where excitement turns to urgency, because each year, the few remaining ungraded coins get scooped up by serious collectors, and your chance to join their ranks shrinks. By now, you might be wondering, if they're so rare, how do ordinary people find them? Here's where it gets interesting. Most discoveries happen by complete accident. Someone sorting through their late father's coin collection, a teenager emptying a change jar to pay for gas, a widow cleaning out a safe deposit box. In every case, the coin was hiding in plain sight. Which means the next great discovery could happen to anyone. Could happen to you. Now imagine this: you find the coin, get it professionally graded, and it's the real thing. The auction day arrives. The bidding starts at $100,000. Hands shoot up. Prices climb. The auctioneer's voice quickens. You're sweating. 1.5 million, 1.8, $2 million. The gavel drops. In that single moment, your life changes forever. And all because you recognized what millions of others overlooked. But before you sprint to check your change jar, here's the cliffhanger: there's one more secret about the 1986 no-mint mark penny that most people don't know. And it's the reason why even worn, imperfect ones can still fetch jaw-dropping sums. This detail is so important that without it, you could walk away with pennies instead of millions. And if you want to protect your find, and your fortune, you'll need to know it. The truth is, in the high-stakes world of rare coin auctions, it's not just about the coin itself, it's about timing. Market demand, collector competition, and the prestige of certain auction houses can inflate a coin's value by hundreds of thousands, even millions. Sell at the wrong time, and you could lose the kind of money that would have bought you a new home. Sell at the right time, and you're living your dream life. And that's the opportunity sitting silently in the palm of your hand right now. So here's your takeaway: check your 1986 pennies. Look for the missing mint mark. If you suspect you have the real thing, don't spend it, don't clean it, and don't trust just anyone with it. Get it authenticated by a trusted grading service and time your sale strategically. Because in the world of rare coins, fortunes aren't just found, they're made by those who know exactly what they're holding and exactly when to let it go. Somewhere out there, the next $2 million penny is waiting to be found. Maybe it's in a dusty jar in your kitchen. Maybe it's in your pocket right now. And if you're the one who finds it, you won't just be holding a coin, you'll be holding the key to a brand new life. The question is, will you recognize it before it's too late? 1 cent. The kind most people toss in a jar, lose between couch cushions, or hand to a cashier without a thought. What if I told you that one particular penny, the 1988 D. Lincoln cent, has sold for as much as $1.5 million? That's not a typo. That's not a maybe someday fantasy. That's real money, right now, in today's market. And if you've ever handled loose change, there's a chance you might already own one without realizing it. Before we go further, let me ask, when was the last time you really looked at your change? Not glanced, looked. If you're like most people, you can't remember. And that's exactly why stories like this happen. Rare coins hide in plain sight because people assume they're all the same. But here's the thing: this 1988 D penny isn't just rare. It's a key to a new chapter in life for whoever finds it. Now, you might be wondering, how can a coin minted in 1988 be worth more than some houses? It comes down to a fascinating blend of history, minting error, and collector demand. The Denver Mint struck millions of pennies that year, but a microscopic variation, barely visible to the naked eye, turned a handful into treasures. Certain 1988 D pennies were struck using a die meant for the following year's coins, creating what's called a transitional design. On the surface, it looks ordinary. But the fine details, like the style of the lettering and the shape of the date, tell a different story. To a trained collector, it's a golden ticket hiding in copper, and here's where it gets thrilling, because collectors aren't just willing to pay a little extra for these. They're competing fiercely, driving prices higher with each sale. The highest verified purchase? $1.5 million. Think about that. A coin that cost the US Mint 1 cent to make is now worth more than the average American earns in 20 years. And you might be holding one right now. You might be tempted to dump your change jar on the table and start searching, but wait. Because if you don't know exactly what to look for, you could accidentally give away a fortune. There's a specific detail that reveals whether your penny is the $1,000,000 variety or just pocket change. And if you miss it, well, let's just say you won't be the one living on a beach next year. So, let's talk about how to spot it. Look at the mint mark under the date. If it's a 1988 D, you're in the right ballpark. But now, here's the twist, compare the AM, in America, on the reverse side. If the letters are nearly touching, you've got an ordinary coin. But if there's a clear gap, you could be staring at one of the rare transitional design errors. Still not convinced? The shape of the G in FG, the designer's initials, is the final clue. It's subtle, almost maddeningly so. But it's the difference between a penny worth 1 cent, and a penny worth enough to retire, and yes, before you ask, people have unknowingly spent these coins on coffee, gum, even gas. Imagine handing over $1 million to pay for a donut. If that mental image doesn't make you want to check every coin in your possession tonight, nothing will, but there's a deeper reason this matters. It's not just about a rare penny. It's about the wealth that hides in everyday life, the opportunities overlooked because they seem too small to matter. That coffee change in your hand? It might be the seed of a new life, if you train yourself to see differently. Picture this. You find the coin. You verify it with a professional grading service. You sell it at auction. The bidding climbs, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, then over $1 million. You walk away with life-changing money. Debt's gone. Mortgage paid. The freedom to live where you want, do what you love, help who you choose. That's not a fantasy. That's the reality for the lucky, and prepared, few, and just when you think this is a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. I have to tell you, it's not the only coin like this. The US Mint's history is full of overlooked treasures. Quarters, nickels, dimes, each with its own potential fortune hiding in plain sight. The 1988 D penny is just the headline act. But if you don't know the others, you could be walking past opportunity every day. So here's my challenge to you, starting tonight, look at every coin you touch. Learn the details. Study the clues. Because the window for finding coins like this is closing as collectors snap them up. Each day that passes, more are locked away forever in private collections. And if you wait too long, the chance to transform your life with a single penny could vanish forever. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds incredible, but how do I know it's real? Stick around for my next video, because I'm going to show you the auction footage, the certified grading reports, and the other coins that could be worth millions. Miss that, and you might just miss your shot at the life you've always wanted. The choice is yours. But remember, wealth doesn't always knock on the front door. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket, waiting for you to notice. Have you ever handed over a penny without thinking twice, not knowing it could have made you a millionaire? Somewhere, buried in change jars, forgotten drawers, or the folds of an old wallet, lies a coin so ordinary, yet so valuable, it could flip your entire financial life. I'm talking about the 2013 Lincoln penny, yes, the one with no mint mark. What if I told you this simple, copper-colored coin, one that millions ignored, has quietly sold for as much as $740,000? Sounds impossible. That's exactly what the original owner thought, until a collector came forward with a jaw-dropping offer. But here's the twist, not every 2013 penny is worth a fortune. Only a very specific version is. So the real question is, how can you tell if yours is the rare one, and more importantly, are you too late? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal could change how you see every penny you've ever owned. Let's go back to 2013. Most Americans barely noticed the Lincoln cent that year. It looked just like the ones before it, the same shield design on the reverse, Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the front. But here's where it gets interesting, most 2013 pennies were minted in either Philadelphia or Denver. The Denver ones have a small D mint mark. But the Philadelphia pennies? For that year, many were struck without any mint mark at all. You see, traditionally, Philadelphia mint coins didn't carry a mark unless they were special. But in 2017, that changed. They started using the P mark to celebrate the mint's 225th anniversary. That means the 2013 no mint mark penny was one of the last of its kind. Now, here's where things get emotional. Most people who held this coin had no idea what they were letting go of. It passed from hand to hand, unnoticed, just another penny at the gas station, just another coin in the take-a-penny tray. And then, it vanished, but a few collectors knew better. A few people, those with sharp eyes and sharp instincts, held on to this coin. And one of them. They sold their 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark for $740,000 at a private sale. Can you imagine the heartbreak of realizing you might have had that coin once? That's the kind of moment that stays with you. Now here's what makes it even more shocking. Some of these pennies, though rare, aren't just valued for the lack of a mint mark. There are specific strike errors, double dies, and ultra-high-grade uncirculated versions, the kind you'd only find if you were really looking closely. Did you know that a 2013 no mint mark penny graded at MS 69 red by PCGS, almost a perfect coin, is one of the most sought-after Lincoln cents in recent years? That's not a guess. That's based on real collector behavior. It's a coin that's skyrocketing in value not because of hype, but because of sheer scarcity and pristine condition. And yet, how many people still think pennies are worthless? How many have unknowingly traded away a six-figure future? Now let's get real. If you're holding on to 2013 pennies, and I know some of you are, here's how to identify the one that matters. First, look for a 2013 penny with no mint mark just below the date. If you see a D, that's from Denver. But if there's nothing, that's step 1. Next, check the condition. If it looks untouched, sharp, and perfect, not a single scratch, it might be worth getting graded. Look at the coin under bright light. Are the details crisp? The lines on Lincoln's suit? The shield design on the reverse? If you suspect you have a rare one, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Getting an official grade can make the difference between a $1 coin and a $740,000 windfall. And once it's graded, store it safely. Use a coin capsule or a high-quality sleeve. Never clean it. Cleaning destroys value. You can check recent auction listings or consult with trusted dealers. Even eBay has surprises, but always do your homework, because here's the truth: coins like this are more than money. They're missed chances. They're the little things that separate those who struggle from those who strike gold with knowledge that we all want security. A better retirement. A way out of the rat race. Sometimes, that path isn't through another side hustle, it's sitting quietly in your old drawer, waiting to be noticed. So I ask you, have you checked your 2013 pennies? Have you looked, really looked? Because the next time you pick up a coin, it might not be just spare change. It could be your second chance. Your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. What if I told you that a simple penny, yes, just 1 cent, minted in 2014, could secretly be worth a jaw-dropping $734,000? What if that very penny has been sitting in your change jar, unnoticed, unvalued, until now? It's the kind of story that sounds unbelievable, until it happens. And here's the twist: this particular coin doesn't even have a mint mark. That tiny detail most people overlook, the absence of a small letter, could be the reason a coin collector would pay more than most people make in a decade. Why would someone pay a fortune for a 2014 penny? Why does this missing mint mark, hold so much power? And more importantly, how can you know if the penny in your pocket is the one that could change your life? You're about to find out, but stay with me, because the biggest clue won't come until the very end. And by the time we get there, you may never look at your spare change the same way again. Let's start with the basics, but not the boring kind. The 2014 Lincoln penny was produced in the billions. That's right, billions, with a B. Most came out of the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Denver ones have a little D under the date. The San Francisco proofs. They carry an S. But the ones from Philadelphia, they carry nothing. No mint mark at all. To the average eye, it looks incomplete. Forgotten. But that blank space. That's where the mystery begins. The US Mint decided not to include a mint mark on coins from Philadelphia for decades, and although it's normal in some years, the 2014 no mint mark penny hides a secret. A rare variant exists, one that wasn't meant for circulation, one that slipped through the cracks. How? Through human error, through minting missteps, and sometimes, through intentional design that's only whispered about in collector circles. Collectors call it a transitional error or die variety. These are coins that were struck using old dies, or dies that weren't meant for the specific production batch. They come out flawed, but in the eyes of a collector, these flaws are gold. In one case, a rare 2014 Lincoln penny with no mint mark but with an unusual double die obverse, a specific type of doubling on Lincoln's I and lettering, sold for $734,000 at a private auction. Now imagine this: a man in Ohio had been collecting loose change for years. He thought it was a fun little hobby, nothing serious. One day, flipping through his jar, he spotted a 2014 penny that looked off. He sent it for grading. It came back labeled, 2014 Lincoln no mint mark, double die obverse, MS68. Within 6 months, that single penny changed his entire financial future, and he's not the only one. Did you know there are hidden variations in 2014 pennies that only show up under magnification? Things like slight shifts in the date, doubling in the word liberty, or irregular spacing. They look like nothing to most people, but to experts, they scream value. And here's the part nobody talks about: some of these rare varieties never hit mainstream circulation data. They weren't listed in red books or price guides when they first emerged. Only sharp-eyed collectors or lucky garage sale pickers ever found out the truth. That's why this is more than just about coins, it's about missed chances and hidden fortunes. Now you're probably wondering, how do you know if your 2014 penny is the one? First, look beneath the year. If there's no mint mark, you're off to a good start. But don't stop there. Use a 10x magnifying glass and inspect Lincoln's face, especially his eye and the letters in Liberty. Look for doubling, subtle, but visible. If you're unsure, compare it with another 2014 penny that does have a mint mark. Any difference could mean everything. Next, check the condition. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are the ones that bring in serious money. If your coin has never been used in circulation and shows no signs of wear, you could be holding a fortune. Keep your coin in a protective sleeve. Avoid touching it with your bare fingers. Oils from your skin can drop its value in seconds. If you suspect it's something special, send it for grading as soon as possible. And always check recent auction listings and numismatic forums. Prices can change fast, especially when news breaks about a recent big sale. But here's the real reason you should check today: regret has a way of sneaking up on people. The man who threw away a rare 2014 penny because he thought it was just another coin. He saw it later in a Facebook group, described in detail, down to the same scratch on the rim. That coin sold for more than $700,000. He hadn't slept properly since, because in this world, opportunities don't knock, they whisper. They hide. They blend in with the ordinary, but for those who look closer, who check again, who pay attention, those are the ones who change their lives with something as small as a penny. So take action now. Open that drawer. Dump out that old coin jar. Examine that change in your glove box, because your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Yes, you heard that right, not $100. Not 1,000. But nearly $750,000, for one penny. The real twist. This isn't some ancient coin dug from the ruins of history. It's a modern coin. A coin you may already own. One that hides in plain sight. And the only thing that separates it from pocket change is one small, almost invisible detail. Here's the burning question: do you have the rare 2015 Lincoln penny with no mint mark? And more importantly, would you even recognize it if you saw it? Some collectors threw this coin away. Others didn't look twice. But a few lucky individuals, the ones who knew what to look for, cashed in, big time. Today, you'll discover the truth behind this modern-day treasure. But before we get into how to identify it and what makes it valuable, you must hear the story. Because understanding why it matters could be the key to unlocking a fortune hiding in your own home. So stay with me. Because the next few minutes could change the way you look at every single penny you've ever held, and the shocking part, most Americans have already missed their chance, will you, to understand why the 2015 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has collectors and investors in a frenzy. We need to go back, not to 1909, when the Lincoln cent was first introduced, not even to 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched from copper to zinc, but to 2015, a year that, for most, passed without notice. Yet for coin collectors, it marked a quiet turning point. Now, you may be wondering, what's the big deal about no mint mark? Let's clarify. Coins minted in Philadelphia often bear no mint mark at all. It's been that way for years. So, on the surface, a 2015 penny with no mint mark doesn't seem rare, but here's where the story turns. In 2015, a tiny batch of Lincoln cents escaped quality control. These coins weren't just regular strikes. They carried microscopic die errors, off-center features, doubled images, or most famously, die clash marks that shouldn't exist, and they were all missing a mint mark, not because they came from Philadelphia, but because something went wrong during the minting process. Only a few of these flawed, no mint mark 2015 pennies entered circulation before the error was caught. And that's when everything changed. Collectors began whispering about the strange penny. Coin forums lit up. Dealers started offering thousands. Then tens of thousands, and then came the bombshell. One verified specimen, with no mint mark and a specific rare die error, was sold privately for an astonishing $730,000. Let that sink in. A penny that cost the U.S. Mint less than a cent to make, was worth nearly $750,000. Imagine being the person who spent it. Who had it in their pocket? Who used it for a coffee, unaware they just let go of their chance at financial freedom? This isn't just about the money. It's about the moment. The moment where an ordinary object turns into something extraordinary. If you just know where to look. Did you know, the U.S. Mint produces over 8 billion pennies a year? Hidden within that flood of coins are a few that slipped through the cracks, like whispers from a forgotten fortune, waiting to be found. And here's the kicker, the 2015 no mint mark penny wasn't part of any official error list for years. Collectors had to discover it themselves. You might be holding that discovery right now. So, how do you know if your 2015 Lincoln penny is the one? Start by checking the date, 2015, clean and clear. Next, flip the coin over. Look for any signs of doubling in the lettering or Lincoln's features. Examine the rim. Is it slightly off-center? Are there any strange impressions that seem out of place? Most importantly, if the coin has no mint mark, and shows signs of a die clash or double die error, don't dismiss it. Get it appraised. Send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Even a minor variation can skyrocket its value, and please, don't clean it. Don't try to polish it or make it look newer. That can destroy its value in an instant. Store it in a coin flip or protective sleeve. Keep it safe, dry, and untouched. Then start your research. Use auction sites. Visit online collector forums. Talk to professionals, because here's the truth, you are one decision away from either missing out or cashing in. The collectors who built wealth from coins didn't always start rich. They started curious. They started cautious. They looked closely, and saw what others missed. What if that 2015 penny in your kitchen drawer, your old wallet, or your kid's piggy bank, is the one? What if today is your only chance to take action, before someone else does? Don't make the same mistake others did when they threw away a fortune. Don't look back 5 years from now, wishing you had checked, because the next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. But what if that same penny you ignored is the one collectors are silently hunting? What if the key to your financial breakthrough, your next investment miracle, or even your family's future security, was already in your pocket years ago? Why are people talking in whispers about the 2017 Lincoln penny? What makes this tiny, copper-plated coin worth more than most people's entire annual salary. Here's the truth. Not all 2017 pennies are created equal, some are ordinary. But a very specific kind, minted in Denver, has sent ripples through the numismatic world. A few collectors, smart, silent, and strategic, already know the secret. But the public? They're still in the dark, and here's the real kicker: you might already own one. But before you go rushing to your coin jar, stick with me, because the value of this coin isn't obvious. In fact, most people miss it. And by the time they realize what they had, it's already too late. Let me take you deep into the hidden world of the 2017 Lincoln penny. The story you're about to hear is real, and it might just change your life. The year was 2017. Lincoln pennies were rolling off the presses at the Denver Mint in staggering numbers. Billions were made. But tucked among the sea of ordinary coins was a batch that would later turn heads, and bank accounts, upside down. To the untrained eye, the 2017 penny looks, well, normal. A humble portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The date. The small d beneath it, denoting Denver. Nothing more, right, wrong, because hidden in plain sight, a rare error occurred during production. A misstep. A minting anomaly so subtle that most coin collectors, even seasoned ones, dismissed it. But a handful of sharp-eyed individuals didn't. They saw something different, something valuable. The error. A striking misalignment. A double die. A die crack. Or perhaps a planchet flaw. These variations, while seemingly minor, create ultra-rare coins that send collectors into a frenzy. Some of these pennies, indistinguishable to the average person, have sold for staggering amounts, up to $727,000 in private auctions and specialized numismatic circles. Imagine holding a 1-cent coin in your hand, and realizing it's worth nearly $750,000, and the tragedy. Thousands of people have owned these rare pennies and spent them without knowing. Pocket change. Tip jars. Coin-operated laundromats. Lost forever. There's a story about a retired auto worker in Ohio who used to save every penny he came across, literally. In 2019, he found a 2017 penny in a coin roll from his local bank. It had a faint doubling on Lincoln's ear and lettering. Just a whisper of a flaw. Curious, he had it graded. That one coin, 1 cent, sold for over $160,000. Another collector, a woman from Arizona, inherited a small coin collection from her late uncle. Among them, a pristine, untouched 2017 penny with an unmistakable die clash. That coin's estimated value? $727,000. These aren't myths. These are people who turned a forgotten coin into real, generational wealth, and here's the haunting part: most people never even check. Did you know that many of these error coins never enter circulation? They're caught early, hoarded by insiders, or lost before the public ever sees them. But a few do make it out. Into the world. Into hands like yours. The 2017 penny is part of a quiet revolution in modern coin collecting. And the clock is ticking, because as more are found, their rarity shifts. Their value changes. The opportunity starts to fade. So how do you know if you've got the right one? Start with the basics. Grab a magnifying glass, a soft cloth, and patience. Look closely at the 2017 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark under the date. Check for doubling on Lincoln's face, his ear, or the word Liberty. Look at the date. Any odd spacing, warping, or shadowing. That could signal a double die. Examine the edges. Are they uneven? Is the design misaligned or off-center? Even the smallest flaw can multiply the value exponentially. Preserve your coin carefully. No harsh cleaning. Store it in a coin holder or flip. Any damage can strip away thousands in value. Then, have it graded by a trusted service, like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade is the gateway to serious buyers and real money. Next, check recent sales on heritage auctions, eBay sold listings, or numismatic forums. Compare your coin to the rare variants already discovered. If yours matches, or comes close, you're sitting on a fortune, and if it doesn't, keep looking. Because this isn't just about one coin. It's about awareness. It's about knowing that wealth can hide in the most ordinary places, a forgotten drawer, a dusty coin jar, or that spare change cup in your car. This isn't just coin collecting. This is treasure hunting. Legacy building. The kind of smart investing that doesn't need Wall Street or big money. Just curiosity, and attention. Don't be the one who missed it. Don't look back 5 years from now, after seeing a 2017 penny sell for $727,000, and say, I had that. I just didn't know. Because the truth is, most people don't lose out because they're unlucky. They lose out because they never looked. So check your pennies. Ask your parents. Look through the old jars. You never know what secrets they hold. Your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Not from a century ago. Not buried treasure. But a coin that could still be rattling around in your change jar, right now. How could something so recent be so valuable? Why are collectors racing to find the exact one with a tiny D mint mark, and what happens if you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, just like thousands already have? You're about to find out the shocking truth about a coin that was minted in the millions, but hides a secret that only a few sharp-eyed Americans have discovered. Some found it by accident. Others missed it, and now they live with the regret of a lifetime. Stay with me, because in just a few minutes, you'll know how to recognize it, what makes it worth a fortune, and how you might cash in before it's too late. But first, what happened in 2018 that turned an ordinary penny into a potential six-figure jackpot? 2018 marked the final stretch of a quiet revolution in modern coin design. The Lincoln penny had already seen over a century of circulation, and most collectors thought they'd seen it all. But deep within the Denver Mint, something unexpected occurred. Now you might be thinking, if it has a D mint mark, doesn't that mean it came from Denver? That's correct. But here's the twist, not all 2018 pennies with the D were created equal. Somewhere in the minting process, a rare error emerged. A tiny misalignment. A double die. A die clash. Or even a microvariation that evaded standard inspection. Collectors began noticing strange anomalies. Some coins had distorted lettering. Others showed doubling in the date or the word Liberty. And a very select few had minting irregularities so rare, even professional graders were stunned. One of these 2018 D pennies, simple, unassuming, maybe tossed aside by someone in a rush, sold $4,723,000. Why? Because it combined modern rarity with condition perfection. It wasn't just a rare minting mistake. It was in flawless condition, professionally graded, and authenticated. And in the numismatic world, that's the golden formula. Now imagine this. A man in Ohio found one while cleaning out his late father's belongings. A small, dusty metal box in the back of a drawer. At first, he didn't think it was anything. Just a bunch of change. But one coin caught his eye. It looked odd. Sharper. Brighter. The D was slightly off. He almost threw it back. But something told him to check that he did. That decision changed his life. A $723,000 life. Now ask yourself, how many people have unknowingly spent this fortune on a coffee or dropped it in a donation jar? It happens more often than you think. Did you know the US Mint doesn't always catch rare die errors or subtle shifts in production? Sometimes, a coin slips through the cracks. A ghost in the machine. And when it does, collectors go crazy trying to find it. And here's another shocker. There are likely more of these 2018 D Lincoln cents still in circulation, waiting to be discovered. Could yours be next? So how do you know if you have the 2018 D Lincoln penny that could change everything? First, check the mint mark. It must be a D, not a P or no mark at all. That means it was minted in Denver. But don't stop there. Examine the coin closely, preferably with a 10x magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for doubling in the letters, especially Liberty or In God We Trust. Look at the date. Check for unusual spacing, extra thickness, or ghosting in the imagery. If anything looks suspicious or unusual, don't dismiss it. This is where fortunes are made, or lost. Now here's what to do: place the coin in a soft cloth or coin flip. Avoid touching the surface, oil from your fingers can reduce its value instantly. Then, submit it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts will authenticate and assign a condition grade, which could multiply your coin's value dramatically. Want to get a rough idea before grading? Check online marketplaces like Heritage Auctions or eBay for sold listings. Search for 2018 D penny error or double die. Look for certified coins. Uncertified ones won't show the real value, but here's the most important thing: don't wait. Every day, more coins get damaged. More rare cents slip through the cracks and vanish into machines, lost forever. The longer you hesitate, the greater the risk that your once-in-a-lifetime find could be gone. Think about your legacy. A single penny could fund a vacation, clear your debts, or even build a better future for your children. It's not just about money. It's about discovery. About the thrill of the hunt. About turning the ordinary into something extraordinary. Thousands of people are already checking their coins. Some will find nothing. But a few, just a lucky few, will strike gold. Will you be one of them? Go look now. That next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Imagine digging through an old coffee can of loose change, only to uncover a 2019 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and realizing it could be worth up to $720,000. Sounds unbelievable. You're not alone. Most people toss these pennies aside, thinking they're ordinary. But they're not. Some of them are anything but ordinary, and here's the shocking part: tens of thousands of Americans may have already spent this exact penny without knowing its true value. Gone. Lost forever. That's the terrifying truth. So now I have to ask, do you have one of these hidden treasures sitting unnoticed in your home? Could this be the coin that finally pays off your debts? That unexpected retirement cushion? That once-in-a-lifetime opportunity hiding in plain sight? Before you dismiss it, consider this: collectors are aggressively hunting this coin down. And the window to cash in might be closing faster than you think. Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'll reveal how to spot the 2019 penny with no mint mark, why it matters, and how one overlooked detail could make yours a six-figure fortune. But be warned, missing this might be the most expensive mistake of your life. Let's go back to the beginning. The Lincoln penny has been an American icon for over a century. But in 2019, something unusual happened. A wave of Lincoln cents started showing up without a mint mark. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just blank space beneath the year. Now, to the untrained eye, this looks like a common Philadelphia issue. After all, the Philadelphia Mint traditionally leaves off its mint mark on pennies. But that's exactly where this story gets deeper. In 2019, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. But among them, a rare subset was struck with remarkable anomalies: misalignments, double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual metallic compositions, all without a mint mark. And that combination has collectors on high alert. In fact, one verified 2019 no mint mark penny with a dramatic die clash and doubled features sold for an astonishing $720,000 at auction. Let that sink in. A single cent, likely found in change, brought in more than most people's annual salary. But here's the emotional punch: hundreds of these rare pennies might still be out there. Unrecognized. Unvalued. Spent at gas stations. Lost in couch cushions. There's a story, and it's a true one, of a retired mechanic in Ohio who almost threw his coin jar in the trash while cleaning out his garage. He decided to check just a few coins. That's when he saw it. A 2019 penny, perfectly ordinary, until he noticed the bizarre doubling on Lincoln's face and the missing mint mark. He got it graded. It sold for enough to buy his daughter a house. That's the kind of hidden wealth we're talking about. Did you know that some error coins are so subtle, only under magnification can you see what makes them rare? But to the right buyer, that microscopic detail could mean a payout of thousands, even hundreds of thousands. And here's another shocker: there are reports of 2019 pennies with experimental planchets. Planchets are the metal discs before they're struck into coins. If one of these rare planchets was used by mistake. Jackpot. Now let's talk about your next steps. Go grab your coin jar. Your pocket change. That dusty tray in your car, find every 2019 penny you have. Now look closely. If there's no mint mark under the date, don't rush. That's the first sign. But it's only the beginning. Examine the details. Is Lincoln's face doubled? Are the letters slightly off? Is the rim misaligned? If anything looks unusual, even slightly, you could be holding a gold mine in disguise. Next, preserve it. Don't clean it, don't rub it, don't polish it. Place it in a soft cloth or a coin flip to avoid scratches. Then, get it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That step could mean the difference between a $1 coin and a $100,000 payout. Check online marketplaces and auction sites. But don't sell too fast. Some buyers will try to snatch these up for cheap, knowing full well what they're worth. Be informed. Know your treasure, and here's the truth that might just keep you up tonight: these coins aren't just metal. They're moments. They're legacies. They're proof that the smallest, most overlooked things in life can carry the greatest value. If only you recognize them in time, you might be sitting on an opportunity your parents never had. Your kids might thank you for checking your pennies today. Or you might be the one who remembers this video years later, with regret. The choice is yours. So don't wait, start searching. Start learning. Start collecting.